We're good. All right, guys. I was talking to Gabi, and we were briefly talking about this past meeting we had. And I know there's a couple guys, I know Fernando, Juanito weren't here, so I'm gonna do a quick video to make sure that you guys get the info at least summarized so you know what we missed this past meeting. So, quickly, we went over standards, what's gonna be acceptable from every member in the team, referring to who showed up, who didn't, who got here early, who got here late, you know, who's showing that commitment. And that commitment is going to be an ongoing thing. It's not like we can be committed today, but a month from now we stop coming to meetings, or we say we're going to hit a certain number and our actions do not back that up, then it shows that you're not committed, you know, a month from now, 2 months. So we remain committed. And I give an example of, for example, marriage. When you get married and you put the ring on, yeah, we're committed at the moment. But what happens when the dude cheats on wife cheats on dude, then something happened there. They're no longer committed, because if they're doing actions that are not aligned with that commitment, then so standards. I went over what our intentions are with this team, and we talked about, okay, are we going to be someone that joins the league, for example, basketball or soccer? Are we going to be a team that aims to make it to playoffs, or the team that's going to be the championship team? We're aiming to be the best of the best. So everybody agreed that we're aiming at being the best of the best. So our standards have to be this, as high as, you know, as you guys can imagine. So with that being said, I'm gonna be watching who's making it, who's not making it, who had something come up, or, you know, and there's gonna always be times where it's understandable. There's times where you have emergencies, and we're not gonna ding you for that. We're gonna be understanding. So ongoing, that commitment is always gonna be an ongoing thing. We have to consistently be showing our commitment to the team, to the movement, what we stand for. We did a list that talked about what we stood for. So I asked the guys, hey bro, when you guys think about us, the team, our group, the company, what we're trying to do here, what comes to mind? So everybody said, I'll put a picture of it: hardworking, the best, committed, good people, a bunch of good things. So that's what we stand for. We found that identity, who we are, you know. So if we're not being that, then you can't be a part of the group, the system, the team, because you're not as committed as everybody here. So there was some that I read recently that talked about loving you either way. So I think it was even at Driven. But the point is that it said, man, I have a couple of friends here. Well, actually, we're all friends. I have even family, Laura. But I'm gonna make sure that everybody that's in here is just as committed as the person to the right and to the left of you. If one of us is not showing that commitment, hey man, I love you, bro, you're my dog, but I'm gonna have to push you off to the side a little bit, because everybody here is committed, and we don't want, I don't want to say rotten apples, but we just don't want that to be something we lack in this circle. Commitment. That's something we should never question with the people that we have here. And when there is that doubt, then we're renegotiating. Just like when you get married, your wife cheats on you, well, guess what? We might have to renegotiate this deal that we have going on, and that's why divorces happen, and that's why there's going to be a divorce in this group if there's actions that are not aligning to our commitment. So I know we talked about being resourceful. So I gave that example of Henry Ford and how he sat down in front of a court. They were questioning him, asking him a bunch of questions, and he's like, man, I don't know the answer to that question, and everybody seemed to be laughing at him. And then he got fed up after so long, and he's like, you know what? I don't have the time, the necessity to be filling up my brain with all this information because with one push of a button, I can summon 100 people that can go out and get those answers that you're asking me. So what I'm saying is, be very specific as to what it is we store up here, because we don't need to know it all. We just need to know who to call when shit comes up. I don't care to be the best loan application taker, or I don't care to know everything about appraisals, about credit, about a bunch of shit. But I do know that I know the activities that loan officers do, and I can single them off like, oh, this one has a big ROI. Oh shit, this one's got a big ROI, return of investment. I just want to do those two, and these other ones, I'm gonna hand them off to somebody else, or I'll just know who to call to get these other pieces of info, versus me wanting to learn it all and then know it all. So I was talking about being resourceful, especially in our field. The people that we wanna start creating relationships with are bank reps. Scenarios come up, we wanna be cool with somebody that can answer those questions. We don't have to know it all. Just be able to hit up 1, 2, 3, 4 people that may be able to get us those answers. Of course, realtors, there's a lot of things that happen on the other side of the transaction that we're not all that familiar with, so we want the gavis in our life. Underwriters, homeowners insurance, escrow, people, appraisers, and this whole resourceful thing applies to anything and everything. It's important for us to keep good relationships with mechanics, attorneys, lawyers, doctors. You know, if someone is sick and your family ill and they need urgent care, you think it's not going to be important to be connected with the doctor or with the nurse that can get you with shit like that? So we're always looking to become someone who's resourceful. I know we also talked a little bit about training. This is what's going to set us apart, and it starts here with the meetings that we set up. It's going to be once a week, and I'm always going to be looking to see who's making it, who's not making it, because I'm committed to you. But until I question your commitment, that's when I'm going to be forced to renegotiate. Just like you should renegotiate with me if you see that I'm taking too many vacations, that I'm no longer investing in my mind, that I'm no longer hiring coaches, going to seminars, things like that. It's perfectly okay to one day be like, hey Andy, you know what, it was cool when we started off, but then I see that you're doing things right now that are not the reason why I signed up in the first place. So I think I'm gonna have to bounce over here, bro, because they got good training over there, good mentors, and it's gonna be better for me. And I would understand, but it goes both ways. So training, this is gonna be what sets us apart. Remember that we have our reading. There's been a couple people that suggested other books. Shit, hell yeah, we'll be open to looking at other books. Coming to the meetings is gonna be key. The role playing. I don't think there is 100% of us that are good with those interviews with the client or with the realtors. So there should be role playing going on, feedback from each other. So other than that, what else were we talking about? Quick summary. Yeah, I think that's it. I'll add something if I missed anything.